Buenos días y bienvenidos to our 63rd episode of our travel podcast, Onderwegs daheim, with Larissa and Eric. And also the first one we upload to Spotify in English. The other ones were on YouTube, but this one is the first one in English we upload
Yes.
to Spotify.
And it might be a bit uncomfortable for us because we're sitting here in our hostel and everyone speaks English, so they can listen what we're saying. But I think we're going to be fine.
Yeah, we're here in San Juan del Sur, Nicaragua. We spend several weeks here already.
Yes, almost 3, I guess.
Third week,
yeah.
So that's why we thought, how about we just don't tell you what happened to us, what we did here, but rather give you a proper guide of what you can do within probably a week here in San Juan del Sur, how you get here, accommodation, where to food, where to party, what to do, anything special you need to know. So to give you a quick guide, we try to keep it as quick as possible, but still as informative as possible. And that's why we do it in English, für alle die draussen Schweizerdeutsch zuhören, because we think it might be worth for the world to know, not only Switzerland to know.
For the world. Yeah. So how to get here? As you said, we're in Nicaragua, down south, on the coast, on the Atlantic side, Pacific side.
That's wrong.
Jesus.
Pacific side. The
Pacific
west,
side?
south point of
exactly.
Nicaragua.
Well, how to get here? We got here from Granada originally by bus. So we took a bus to Managua.
No, I'm gonna take over this part. Okay, there is I knew when you started, I was like, why do you start with that point? You can do the other parts, but I'm gonna take over with the direction. So from Granada, which could be a classic route if you go from north to south, is Granada to Rivas. There you have a classic chicken bus. It takes about, I don't remember, about 2 hours. Then you get off in Rivas, just ask around where the next bus to San Juan del Sur goes, and then you just hop on this bus. Of course, there are always transfers, which brings you from the hostel directly to the next place, but they're 5-10 times as expensive as the tickets from the chicken bus. Not crazy expensive, but $20 compared to $3-4.
But if you're on a vacation for 2 weeks or so and you're kind of on a schedule, it's just the fastest way to go.
It is a bit faster, but less fun. And the same thing for Managua. We didn't do that, but we're sure there are going to be buses from from Managua to Rivas, or maybe you have to change. Just ask around at the bus stations and they will bring you for the cheapest way possible to San Juan del Sur. So now you can take over with the hostels.
Yay!
Which we just gonna talk about hostels because we didn't stay in hotels or Airbnbs, so we're just gonna suggest some hostels we have been to or we have heard of.
Yes, we've been to 3 hostels here. The first one was Javier's house. It's located very, very well here in the city, very central on the main street where all the bars and restaurants are at. But the hostel itself, I didn't like that much. The rooms were very tiny and the beds not that comfortable. The infrastructure wasn't that good either. There was a kitchen that didn't properly work.
It's a really basic hostel.
It's like a house. You're living in a house with the family who lives there, and they only have showers on one floor. And if you're staying on the other floor, you have to go all the way through the house. So I didn't like that much, but it's quite cheap. It's $12 US a night, but the other ones are similar that I'm gonna suggest as well. So it's a good place to stay, but it's not as easy to socialize there because there's not a lot of common area.
Yeah. So the next one we stayed in was Surf Town. We changed there, and we have to add that we have been here over New Year's through this phase, so the hostel prices were way higher. They were between
Double.
20 and 30 US dollars, but that's not the usual price, so we're giving you the usual price we saw in Hostel World right now. So Surf Town hostel is the next one. It's a really nice hostel. I like the common area, really nice pool. The breakfast is super nice. The rooms, we stayed in a private room there, which was also nice for the price. I think we paid 30 US dollars for
so
two.
15 each?
Yeah, that's pretty fair for private. Yeah, it's definitely a recommendation. The only downside is it's not that central. It's located in the, what's that, south side of the village.
It's a
Yeah.
bit outside, so you have to walk 5 to 10 minutes to get to the main places, which is still fine because it's a nice walk through the city. But I much more prefer Pachamama.
Yes. Well, we have to add in all of the three, Pachamama, Surftown, and I think in most of them, the breakfast is included.
Yes.
That's included, and so you can take off like $2 to $5 depending on how fancy it is off the price. So
Yes, and breakfast usually includes gallo pinto, which is rice with beans, eggs, toast, and you can spice it up a bit with like tomatoes and avocado. But it's a good breakfast. It fills you up.
yeah, that's the classic Nica breakfast.
Yes.
Nica desayuno. So Pachamama, that's
Pachamama, that's where we are right now. Oh, nice. We said the same phrase at the same time. We love Pachamama. We've stayed here for 2 weeks, I'd say. They have different dorms. We stayed in one private here, but
Yeah.
I much more prefer the dorms, especially the one with 12 beds, I think it is, or 10 beds.
It's called
12.
the Jungle. It's the biggest room.
It's on the top floor, and it's very airy. It has a lot of windows, has 2 showers, 2 toilets, and a lot of space. And it's super easy to meet people when you're staying in a dorm. That's why we prefer to stay in a dorm than in a private, because you connect very well. And the beds are also like nice with little curtains. They have plugins everywhere, mirrors, so everything you need is up there.
Yeah. You can hang your stuff, which is always for me a really important thing
Yes.
if you are in a beach located city, village, whatever, because you always have like wet stuff. You want to dry somewhere, and you can do that over the curtains. It's like if you backpack, you know what I mean.
For sure. And what we really like about Pachamama is this common area in which we're sitting right now. Because everyone gathers here, it's so easy just at the entrance, so you don't have to go to another place. There's a pool on my left side, which I didn't use right now. Did you use it? Yeah?
I did, like, but not a lot.
Okay. And I have a pool table, a kitchen back there where they prepare your breakfast in the morning, but you can also cook your own stuff. And surfboards, you can rent surfboards over here. And lots of parties also take place here in this common area.
Yeah, we're gonna come back to that
Yes.
later, but yeah, just remember.
Yes.
You might recognize this floor here later on in the videos.
Yes, and like price-wise, you pay 12 US for this jungle room with 12 people, and it sounds like a lot of people, but it's one of the calmest rooms I've ever been.
Yeah.
I don't know, like no one is snoring, which is nice, but it's, as I said, very airy and a lot of light, so 10 out of 10.
So there are 2 more hostels. One is the Oro Hostel, which is probably the nicest one here.
It's
kind
fancy.
of a fancy not, but like gives you like a hotel vibe, but it's a hostel. We didn't stay there, we didn't do the research, but just to drop the name. And the other one is the Space. It's located between Playa Maderas and here the center, which means 15 minutes up north. It's a really nice place, super chill. It looks like a kind of a resort.
Like a jungle resort.
Like a jungle resort, but for backpackers. Also, price-wise, it's pretty nice. It's like 11, 12 US dollars. You have to stay 2 nights, though, in a row, but a part of that, it looks super nice. The only thing is, like I said, it's 15 minutes on the road, and there's
By car.
nothing out there. So you either need to use their shuttle, which is, I think, pretty cheap to get in, get out to the center, or just rent a scooter bike, but we get to that later on. We didn't stay there, but we visited it during the party, and it looked super nice pool. But
It's beautiful, but I much more prefer to stay in town, so you can walk everywhere you want to walk to. So it depends what you're looking for. If you're looking for a chill time and want some calm, then it's probably the spot to go.
If you're not gonna move from there, or just
Yes,
maybe once every 2 days, it's a good place.
for sure.
Good. So we almost already entered this topic: how to move here. Like, there's San Juan del Sur here, the center, but the beaches are not here, so you need to go to the beaches.
I mean, there's one beach here.
There's one beach.
The main beach. It's not that pretty. It's just a regular beach. But there are much nicer beaches in the surroundings.
The beaches are not close to here, but there are, as we said, shuttles. There's one way to shuttle. Like, a lot of places here offer shuttles. The one we used at the beginning was the one from Hostel Oro. They have like fixed times, and they almost go every day to every beach to several times. So it's kind of a bus schedule. You can use that. And I think most people who go to the beaches use the shuttles from Hostel Oro. This is one way to go. The other way to go is through your hostel where you're staying. But there is most likely going to be that you have to organize yourself, or the hostel's going to organize one beach a day they're going to visit. So you just have to tag along, which is also fun because you're going to go there with people from the hostel. And if you go with the auto transfer, it's going to be more likely that you can just choose where to go. The hostels are the shuttles are between $6 to maximum $10, but it can also be that includes an entrance fee or something.
Mm-hmm. And here in Pachamama, you cannot decide to which beach you want to go. It's just one set beach a day, and you just tag along. But every beach is so nice. We're going to come to that after. There is another way to get around here. It's by scooter bike or by motorbike. But it's like 20 US a day, which is kind of pricey. If you can share it between two people, it's okay, because then you can decide yourself where you want to go and when you want to go back. That's a bit the downside of the shuttles. They have set times, so sometimes you have to spend like 10 hours on a beach.
Yeah.
And yeah,
you're not that flexible.
No, and the streets aren't that well yet, but they're constructing new streets right now. So we think in like 2 or 3 years, everything is going to be very well connected with good streets. Right now, it's more like this dirt,
like construction.
gravel streets.
Yeah, the other way is also, we never did that, but if you walk through the center, they're going to ask you if you want to get a taxi ride to the beach. I mean, you could do that. We never did it. We don't know how to get back, but just that you know. But you might pay the tourist price. I could imagine.
For sure.
Third one is the taxis in general, just to get around here.
Yeah, it's just easy. They leave all in the same place. Wherever you walk, they're always like, taxi, taxi, taxi. And if you go like 1 to 2 kilometers outside of town, during the day you pay 40 Cordobas, which is 1 US. But it's more like a colectivo. So you pick up other people on the way. But during the night, it changes at 7 p.m. They're called pirate taxis, so the fees are way higher. You pay $150 for like 2 kilometers, which is quite expensive if you compare it to the life here. But the good thing is there is always a way to get around, so you'll never be like stranded somewhere.
Yeah. So we come to probably the most important part of this podcast, or why people even visit San Juan del Sur. I mean, it's a super nice city, but if it wouldn't be for the beaches, I think it wouldn't be that well known or well visited. And we're gonna start from north to south, and the one beach we already mentioned is Playa Maderas. It's the one who is like 30 minutes north located from here. It's the shuttle usually costs here from $6 to $7 depending on where you go, but it's gonna be like 220 to 250 Cordoba. It's a super nice infrastructure there. You can rent surfboards. There's like 3 to 4 restaurants. There's food. It's not not the cheapest food you can get there, but still you can get like proper plate for $6, $7, $8, which is kind of okay.
Yes, and there are 4 different restaurants, and we would recommend you to go if you're facing the ocean to the one on your left side, the last one. We always store our stuff there when you go surfing, and they take care of your valuables. And for example, for a big plate of French fries, you pay $150, which is $3 something. And this is a fair price because on the other side of the beach, there are other restaurants where you pay double. So we really like that place because you also get to know the people who work there, and they're much friendlier than the other ones.
And in general, you can say, of course, if you can rent surfboards, you can also surf there. It's probably the most famous beach or most known beach here in San Juan del Sur to surf. You can surf shortboard, longboard. We experienced that the waves are not too long, so they're, for my experience or meine Meinung.
Opinion?
My opinion, that's the word I was looking for. My opinion, more shortboard waves, but you can also, like, for beginner waves, is also good. It's generally good between mid-tide and high tide. And high tide to mid-tide. Low tide, it's not that good. You can still surf, but that counts for most of the beaches here in San Juan del Sur, or just around San Juan del Sur.
And even if you're not surfing, because I did not surf here because I got some new tattoos, coming to that a bit after. It's a very nice place to just chill, and you can rent some sunbeds, which they like, you pay like 50, 60 Cordobas, which is a bit over $1 for the whole day. And I think it's a very fair price. So you also feel comfortable just staying there without doing any activities, because there are more beaches around and you can walk like both ways. It's very nice.
Next beach is Playa Remanso. If we go down south from here, about, I would say a bit less, like 25 minutes. Also with a shuttle, $6 US. Same thing, 5 to 6 restaurants. I would say even a bit more than in Madeiras, like options to.
But it's a
eat.
smaller beach.
It's a smaller beach, but you can also rent surfboards there. And I would say, in general, I would say it's a bit more of a beginner beach. So if you want to start surfing, it's a perfect wave there. It's not too big. It's like in how do you say, Bucht? We're gonna put in the word we wanted to say here. No, a bay.
In a little
it's
bay.
Like in a little bay.
True.
So yeah, the waves get in, not too strong. Board rentals in general here for a day is $10. If you use it for 2 hours, you might haggle it down to $8. Or in general, if you're a good haggler, you might get some discount on your $10. We usually don't do it, so it's like $8 to $10.
Remanso is one of my favorite beaches because it's smaller. There's a lot of nature around. It seems like a bit further away than Madeiras because the way to get there is a bit harder.
Yeah.
But I really like it. It's one of my favorite beaches here.
I think unfortunately we don't have any footage from there because you only been once and we forget to film. Or did you film?
I didn't.
So if we put in the footage you just saw, it's just random footage. It's not from the beach.
That's true. Well, there's another beach, which is also one of the most famous. It's Hermosa. Hermosa Beach is like the only beach you have to pay an entrance fee. It's $3, I'd say.
Yeah, $3 or 100 Cordoba. Yeah, it's located.
Yeah.
It's the second next beach to Remanso, so the same direction by 30 minutes.
I personally didn't like Hermosa Beach that much because there were a lot of like hotels and buildings around it, which is nice if you want to have a good infrastructure. Also have to say, when we were there, the weather wasn't good. So, yeah. But I don't know how it is for surf.
It's good, but also really important to have high tide there. It's really important because the low tide is just like ocean goes away for like 200 meters. So high tide is important there. It's also a good beginner spot. There's a good longboard waves, I think. And what you said, like, it's a bit more expensive, but you pay like $3 more, for example. If the shuttle is like 10, that includes the entrance, if not the entrance separately, $3. But it includes like the sunbeds, the shadow, the infrastructure, the shower. So I think it's still a fair price to pay the entrance, because if you rent a chair at any other beach, you have to pay this amount anyway. So if you're looking for that, still a good place to visit. And it's a super long beach. It's probably the longest beach. It's well known. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, every beach here is beautiful.
Yeah,
We're just like picking it apart a bit, but every beach is beautiful. We also went to another beach called Tamarindo. Tamarindo is the smallest beach we've been to. It's in a little bay. It's quite hard to get there. So if you rent your own motorbike to get there, make sure you know where to go before you go, because there are no signs that lead you to the beach.
There's one point. It's between Remanso and Hermosa Beach. So you just need to follow all the signs to Hermosa Beach. And at the moment, we're going to visit there today. And I hope I get the moment where we turn to the right-hand side. You're going to find a blue sign which says Hermosa Beach to the left, or let's just follow the street. And a red sign which says Specialized from the mountain bike brand. And there, you just need to turn right. So that's the sign.
Okay, good to know.
And then you just follow the roads. There are going to be 3 roads that split up. And just follow whatever road you want to get to, and you will end up on one entrance of the beach. And there's really nothing. There's no infrastructure, no shops, no board rental. So you need to bring your own food, your own water. And if you want to surf, which is good there, or like to surf there, you need to bring your board as well.
And when we went there, it was beautiful because we were the only people on the beach. And you were also the only guys in the water, so it was not very crowded, I
Yeah.
think, to surf. It was beautiful.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. Same thing about Yankee Beach. It's located south of Morsa. It's the one is the furthest away. Same thing, remote beach, no food, no drinks, no board rental. Same thing. If you go there, you're gonna have the waves almost to yourself, or just with the people you came with. And especially for me as an intermediate surfer, intermediate beginner surfer, it's super chill because I don't have to worry about other surfers that are way better than me and stealing my waves. So it's a bit more chill. So.
Well, you also went to another beach. I didn't go there yet, but we're going tomorrow. It's called Yankee Beach.
That's the one I was just talking about.
Oh, you
Yeah.
said Yankee.
Yeah. This like the Yankee Beach is the one who's the furthest down. So I would say
Oh, okay.
Tamarindo and Yankee are pretty comparable
Okay.
from the infrastructure. Yeah, so you it's just a bit further away, and Yankee is, I would say, longer. And yeah,
And which I really like, that you can watch the sunset on every beach.
yeah.
And
It's-
San Juan has one of the most amazing sunsets we've seen
Yeah.
on our travels.
That's true. Yeah,
So
all
it's
the whole-
absolutely worth it.
the whole coast of, well, West Coast obviously is facing the sunset side, or the
Yes.
side where the sun goes down, just like.
Yeah,
It's
and
always
usually the shuttle goes back like right before the sun like properly sets, so that's sometimes a bit of pity.
Yeah.
So if you can like rent your own vehicle, you can stay as long as you want.
Yeah.
But if you go back in the dark, it might also be a bit tricky because the roads aren't that good.
Yeah. So that's for the beaches, the 5 most famous beaches. If you know some local people, they might bring you to even more remote beaches. But I think that Tamarindo is the most unknown from the one we just told you. So and the hardest to get to as well,
For
like
sure.
street-wise or road-wise.
So another important part, party. So the parties usually start here from like Wednesday, Thursday until Sunday. But basically every day there is something to do here. So on Tuesday, there is Taco Tuesday in a hostel called Sola. And I cannot read it if you put it there. Called Sola. Sola is in a partnership with Pachamama, so they do activities together. And you just go there in the evening. They make you some tacos for 100 each,
70.
70
70.
each, and they're very good. So as a Mexican, you can confirm they're yummy.
It's a taco who is not made in Mexico.
It's really
It's
good.
good.
It's really
tasty.
good.
It's authentic.
Yeah.
Taste, yeah.
And you play some games, hang around with the people. It's not party. There's a
it's a
DJ,
social event.
but it's more socializing.
event, yeah.
But it's nice to like start into the week like that, because Monday is calm. There's nothing going on Monday.
Which I would like to add something. If you hear the noise in the background right now, what do you think it is?
I think it's a generator because
a
the
generator.
power went off. It
And
happens every day.
That happens a lot here,
Yes.
so be prepared. You have your flashlight ready.
Yes.
We
And have your power bank charged.
power bank charged and
Yes.
flashlight ready, and just be prepared that it's gonna happen here for sure when you
Yes.
stay here. So the next thing you can do on Wednesday during the day, there's a place. I think it's like a resort, hotel, whatever. It's called Three House, which is like usually a closed hotel. But during Wednesdays, you can go there. There's a really nice pool. But we didn't go. But people who told us like it was more of a kind of a family thing. There were a lot of kids playing, elderly people like occupying the sunbeds with their towels and not using them. So kind of a all-inclusive vibe, but you can get there for free, and it seems to be a really nice location because it's located a bit on the top of the mountain. During the day, in the evening, I would say like the party week starts
Yeah.
to heat up is the cerveceria.
Cerveceria means beer place.
Well, where they produce beer, I would say.
Yes, exactly. And it's a local bar, and at 10 p.m. they start playing live music. It's called open mic. So everyone who wants to play something or sing something can go on to the stage and do that.
But I think it's before 10.
Is that
Yeah,
before 10?
yeah,
Oh,
it's
because
before
we
10.
always arrived on at 10.
Because people just go there for the band who's actually good.
Okay.
But you can just chill there and but at
Yeah.
10 o'clock starts a cover band.
But if you stay here for longer, it gets very repetitive. So it's always the same songs. It's rock music. But what I really like is that a lot of local people get
Yeah.
there as well. So it's a good mix between tourists and local people.
Yeah, exactly. I would say, but there the average age is 40 plus. 40.
40.
40, 40 plus. But yeah, it's still a good event if you go there with your people and hang out. That's the Wednesday to heat up. Thursday,
Game night.
game night.
I never went to game night, so you have to explain.
Yeah, that's organized from Pachamama and Sola Hostel, which is like we said, right next to it. Sola also a place you can stay. There's a pool tournament, there's a billiard pool tournament, and a ping pong tournament, which you can win tickets to the Sunday Fun Day. So that's one way to get a free ticket for this event. Yeah, if you win it, it's super fun. It's not too competitive, but still like, yeah, it's a good level of pool and ping pong and a fun way to spend a night socially together. It's not like a big party or drinking event, whatever.
It's more like getting to know the people for the weekend.
Yeah. And in general, we have to say, of course, we stayed here in Pachamama, so we don't know too much about the other activities who are going on in other hostels. But yeah, that's the one we know and we can recommend. And you can also join from outside. You don't have to be from the hostel. That's a cool thing. So,
but I think Pachamama is very good at organizing events. So I think most of the events take place in Pachamama or is organized by Pachamama.
Yes.
So Friday, the party weekend is officially starting with the beer pong tournament here. It just happened yesterday. We have Saturday right now. So a lot of people from all over town sign up for the tournament. And the winner as well wins a ticket for the Sunday Fun Day, the next, on Sunday.
Yeah.
Obviously. And it's also very fun because you just team up, you play against each other, and it's not just about the beer pong, it's also about meeting the people. You dance up here on the dance floor, you can play pool, you can play any board games. I really, really like that activity. Yeah. It's a good mix.
I would even consider it as a pre-party or a pre-heat up for Sunday because a lot of people who are here are obviously going to spend the weekend here. Yeah. And it's a fun way to meet the people, like you said. And also, it gets kind of competitive. Like, there are over 30 teams. Both times we played, like, over 30 teams. So you have a few rounds to win if you really want to win the tickets. Afterwards, like at 12:30, it closes down here and the whole place just goes to the next club called Arribas, to the kind of after party or like the proper party then in a place, yeah.
And they play reggaeton, which I really like because during the weekend it's more electronic, techno music for the gringos. The local people prefer usually reggaeton. And Saturday is pretty calm for a Saturday. I remember last week we walked around on like 11 p.m. or something and the town was dead because everyone was preparing for the main party on Sunday. But before we get to that, there's one event on Saturday that you can join and it's the bonfire. It's organized by Pachamama. I think there's another bonfire by another hostel, I think Ola.
Yeah, okay.
But you leave at 2 p.m. here, you spend the afternoon at the beach, and they start to build up a beautiful, huge bonfire, and everyone sits around, you listen to music, you chat, you have a drink, and then you come back at 8, 9 p.m., and usually people just go out for dinner and chill because they want to be ready for Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. So the important thing is it doesn't happen every week. There need to be enough people. So if you feel like you want to do it, ask at reception like 2 days before, gather some people, ask the volunteers here if you can do the bonfire at the weekend. And yeah, they need, I think, at least 10 people to sign up, which always happens so far because there are always a lot of people who want to do that. If you don't want to do that and still want to win your tickets, there is for sure, it's Surftown, there's a beer pong tournament on Saturday, you can win 2 tickets. And I think at Ola Ola, which is another hostel where you can, I think it's on Saturday, where you can play beer pong and win tickets as well. It's not as big as here, the tournament, and probably easier to win tickets as it's probably a bit less competitive. And yeah, a good way to win your free tickets.
So getting to the proper party, Sunday Fun Day. So everyone like prepares themselves to be in a good mood for Sunday because the party starts really early. It starts at around midday, I'd say 2 p.m. 12 a.m., 2 p.m. And everyone gathers here in Pachamama. That's where the pre-party starts. And there's a DJ who plays usually reggaeton. Everyone starts dancing, drinking. There's some like fun games, pool. and people just like get ready for the party. And from 12 until 2 p.m. the women have the drinks for free. So that's why they want to make people come a bit earlier. And you usually leave around 4 p.m. Because there are different locations. I would say like every second week they change.
Yeah, we have to add, like, it's not a only party, it's a pub crawl, or they call it pool crawl, because in every location there's a swimming pool. Unless the last one, well, the ocean's right there. But yeah, it's called they call it probably the biggest pool crawl. Pool crawl in Latin America. But I don't know if it's true. But one time we went, like, was really big, a lot of people. Yeah, then you either go to Naked Tiger or the hostel we just mentioned, the Space. For the next party, there's gonna be more techno, electronic music.
And Naked Tiger is one of my favorite places because it's up in the mountains. It has a big pool and you can watch the sunset. So it's a magical place because you have electronic music, people dancing, people partying, and have the sunset and the view over the ocean. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a super nice location. Probably our favorite party location here
ever, yes.
All over San Juan. Would you say ever?
I would say ever.
Yeah?
I loved it.
Yeah, it's just really nice, like beautiful. The mood, like the music, like, yeah.
Yeah.
Or the Space, which is also really nice. And if you go to the Space, you might go to Anamar, which is another, it's basically a hotel, and it turns into a proper rave.
Yeah.
Like, it's really...
Has a lot of space for people to dance. There's a pool as well, the ocean outside.
Yeah. But has more of a rave vibe, like DJ, everybody racing on the DJ booth. And
yeah.
And as always, the party ends at Arribas, which is really nice from the location wise. The location, Arribas, is, I would say, pretty average. It's a good party location. It's nothing special, nothing super beautiful. It's just a dark room with a DJ.
Yeah.
But what it's nice is like beachfront, so you can go outside, chill on the seats, like the benches there, in the sand. So it's a nice location, and you can walk back from there.
It's like 2 minutes walk to Pachamama.
We have to add, to get to these locations, you have a shuttle included, which they just have the chicken buses fill up with people, and they bring you from point A to point B.
Which is fun too, because you get to meet new people in the bus, because you're so squeezed in, so it's easy to talk and to meet new people. The
only downside, in my opinion, is it's a bit pricey. It's $35 US. If you buy it here, you can buy it online as well, and you pay some minor fees. It includes a shirt, it includes the transfers, and, well, the entries obviously to the 3 to 4 locations. What you can do is stay either at Sola or Pachamama. You're from Saturday to Monday, I think you have to stay. I'm not sure, or if it's one night or 2 nights you have to stay. You get a $10 discount on the tickets, so it just makes sense to. You're gonna spend, but you have to book it a few days in advance, because obviously it's gonna fill up pretty fast over the party weekend.
Because yesterday was Friday, and some people entered the hostel and wanted to get a room for the weekend, and he was like, "No, we're fully booked."
Yeah.
So plan a bit ahead, probably a week ahead, I'd say. Yeah.
And Monday is chill day.
There's
I don't know if there's
nothing.
anything going on. We just never even checked. Like
everyone's just tired, hungover, and just goes on to the beach.
Or travel day. Most people leave on Monday, so it's funny. Like Sunday's full party here, and Monday morning or during the day is just dead here. It's like nothing going on. But
I remember last week, our friend Ira and I were just sitting here on the chairs and watching everyone leave, and we were like, bye. Looking forward to some new people, but still, it changes very fast.
So let's get from party to food. There are several places we can recommend. A part of the main place, which,
I take the first one.
Yeah.
La Reina del Sur, which means the Queen of the South. It's a classic comedor. A comedor is the place where they serve traditional Nicaraguan food. It's usually a buffet, and you can fill up your plate and pay a fixed price. In La Reina, you can take like one protein, which is usually chicken, beef, or fish, and you can add 3 other things on your plate for 100 Cordobas, which is $2.50.
Yeah.
And it's very nice, very fresh, yummy food. And we go there every day. Most of the day, several times a day.
It's the cheapest way to eat here. For us, sometimes even cheaper than to buy the stuff and cook it. So, yeah. It's the best place to go. And located right next to Sola and Pachamama. Next place, if you want to go for fancy food, is Dale Pues. You have also 10% there. By the way, we are not sponsored by Pachamama or Sola, but it's just like...
We just love it here.
We love it here. So you get 10% off. It's a bit more pricey, like 300 cordobas, which is $7 to $8, but you get more like the kind of fusion food. So you want to go out for food and eat nice. Dale Pues. Simon Says is a really good place for breakfast.
It's located on the main street, has a lot of greenery inside, and you can have traditional Nicaraguan food or also like avocado, toast, fruit bowls,
whatever, these kind of smoothies.
And it's price-wise, it's obviously pricier than La Reina, but it's still okay.
Yeah, it's still
you pay
under
like
$10
$6 to $7 US probably for a breakfast.
Next one is Mamma Mia. If you want to go to an Italian place, authentic, I would say.
Yes.
The Mamma is from Bologna and the Papa is from Bergamo. I used to talk with them.
Okay.
I forgot to film, but it's like has good spaghetti, has really good pizza.
I took a picture.
It's very good. Pizza slices for like 50, which is a bit more than $1 if you just want to have a pizza slice. The only thing we do not recommend is the lasagna. Just don't get it.
Just don't get the lasagna.
It's really weird, but a part of that,
really good.
Super nice.
Yeah.
Food.
Then there's another Chinese place. It's located in a corner. You cannot eat there. It's just takeaway food. But for a big box of fried rice, you pay $1.70.
Yeah, like $5 maximum, and it serves 3 people easily.
Yeah, easily.
It's just fried rice. You can also take it with meat. You can also like the sides, chop suey, whatever. But if you want to eat cheap, that's probably the cheapest food you can get here. Is a portion for 2 people of rice.
For
with
sure.
the biggest amount.
And there's another very nice place called Kiss Me. It's for ice creams and cafe. They have these homemade, like organic ice creams. So I can really recommend this place.
Yeah, and the last one is Oro as well. We said like you can get also a nice fancy breakfast. But there are like so many different other places. But due to the Reina, we didn't experience that many places because we just thought let's fill up our tummies for the cheapest way possible, and that's possible there. So
there is also some sightseeing you can do here. We went to the Farol, which means the lighthouse. From Pachamama, you can walk, and it takes you approximately half an hour, and it's pretty steep.
Yeah.
So, like, wear probably good shoes. Eric came without shoes because his flip-flops broke, but I think you were still fine.
Yeah.
And you have a beautiful view over the bay of San Juan. And if you go to the lighthouse, you can watch the sunset there. And it's not very crowded. There's just a small little cafe bar there. And it was a beautiful place. I 100% recommend to go there.
The second one is the Cristo, which, funny enough, we didn't go so far, but it looks pretty similar to the Cristo do Rio de Janeiro, the guy who is spreading his wings. We didn't do that either in Rio de Janeiro, but it
spreading his wings.
Seems to be a really nice place for the sunset as well. They went from the hostel yesterday there, so can recommend that. And a part of that, I think the sightseeing part is not too big, a part of the beaches.
And there's a lot of stores and shops you can go to, a lot of surf shops if you want to buy some clothes.
Tattoo girl.
Tattoo girl. I got lots of tattoos here. Dust and Ink. It's a bit outside. It's about like 1.5 kilometers from Pachamama, and easiest way to get there is to take a taxi. As I said, during the day you pay like 40 cordobas, which is $1. And he specializes in fine line tattoos, so if you want to get a nice tiny fine line tattoo, that's the place to go. Like the minimum price is 40 US, and the small ones just cost 40 US, and it goes up to whatever you want.
Food, like we said, we didn't cook a lot as it just was not worth the money and also the struggle and the taste. So, but you can go to the Ocean Market, which is more a westernized supermarket here in San Juan del Sur. It's a bit more pricey. You find your Western products, or we're in the West, but I would say like European American products. Then there's a supermarket, Ahora Más or Maxi Pali. These ones are a bit located outside, so like a 20-minute walk, or you take a taxi. It's just a classic supermarket when you can get the probably cheapest products as you can get. There are local food markets here in the center, which I figure are sometimes a bit pricey. So if you go to the food markets, fruit markets a bit outside, like on the road, it's going to be a bit cheaper. But yeah.
For sure. And I try to calculate what we spend like for 1 week here in San Juan, and I would say it's about 300 to 400 US a week, and that includes everything: accommodation, food, party.
Like 2 to 3 parties, like the beverages and stuff.
And that's where you spend the money on.
Like in general, you spend like for the accommodation, $12, the food, $10 a day. If you want to go to beach,
$10.
$10, maybe 15 if you include the board rental. So yeah, it ends up between $40 and $45, and then with party money, and yeah. And if you might want to make it cheap, 300 to 400.
Yes. So it's up to you how cheap you want to do it. If you don't go out as much, you spend less money.
Yeah, I think that's it for our English episode about San Juan del Sur. We hope it helps you. I mean, it gives you a schedule to do a full week if you arrive on Monday, Tuesday, and gonna stay a week here, so you know what to do. You can visit every day a different beach. You can party every day. You can surf at different beaches. You can eat at different places. So I would say it's definitely worth to stay a week if you want to chill here, like we did. Like find a little break in your longer travels. You can also just easily spend 2 weeks here.
I could stay here for like 2 months because the people are so nice here, and there's always something to do. It never gets boring.
Any last words from San Juan del Sur?
I love it. You have to come here before it gets too popular. I think in the next years it's gonna be a new like Canggu from Bali probably. So come here as soon as you can. It's a beautiful place, and we're not sponsored by Pachamama, but stay at Pachamama.
Okay. If you have any questions, write us on Instagram, make a comment on YouTube or on Spotify, and we try to answer it. If you want to know any more details about the stay here. Yes, we're gonna write down our name, onderwegs.daheim. You'll find our Instagram and let us know. Bye. Bye.